Year is probably the most disappointing defensive performance that we've had. We just did not do a good job. If one player gets 70 points in 2 games, can't blame your players for that. You got to blame the coach. We tried to do different things. We tried to double them with different people, and they would hit a 3 right off the bat. But the 3s didn't really hurt us. They had 7 of them, a lot of open looks. I thought we couldn't cover him. We didn't cover him. He gets in there, he's physical. You can't push him out. Was disappointed in that a little bit. And then the play before half, give them credit. Their 4 guys had 24 points. That at our place almost had none. Martin, he gets 6, and Newman, he gets 3, and Jenkins played well. I thought Jenkins did a nice job for them. He gets 11. That was a big deal. And Kaufman gets 4. That's 20-some points between those 4 guys. I thought that was the difference. We did a decent job on Lawyer. Great player, and I thought he hits that 3 real late. Otherwise, what does he end up with? 9. So we did a decent job on Smith. But as I said about Matt's team, and I just reiterate this, it's the best role coaching job, I think, in the nation. First is a hell of a player, and he barely takes a shot, but he plays his role to the nth degree. Very, very, very good at it. When we cut it to 10, the halftime, they hit the 3 because of, I don't know, guess it was a good call. I don't think officials make bad calls. So, we're going for the last shot and could cut it to, probably cut it to 15 or 14. Instead, they hit a 3 and I get a technical for questioning something. And not on the guy didn't give it to me that I was questioning, and so that's 5 points, So that's really a 7-point swing. 2 we don't get, 3 they hit, and the technical. So that's a 7-point swing, and Purdue's too good of a team to make 7-point swings. I give my team credit. We bounced back. We played our butt off. We had 4 possessions late when we had a 10-point lead. We threw it out of bounds once. We traveled once. Didn't even get shots when we cut it to 10. And I think that's what the game was over. But Edie played awfully well. They did an unbelievable job of getting him the ball. And I'll take questions.
Tom, I guess what does Edie do best? It seemed like there were a lot of things in terms of footwork, vision, kicking out to some guys. And how much does that maybe alter some things?
He didn't kick out much. He got it so deep because, you can't force him out. I think he had a couple assists. One was inside. He just gets so deep. And, Marty at 6'9", 225. He's given up, some inches and hard to front him, and it's hard to do that. So, but as I said, my writers, we got people that want to double them and give up 3s, and then we got people that want to not give up 3s, and we tried both, and neither one worked today. Give them credit.
Tom, back here. In the first half with Edie, he had an 8-0 run, let alone by himself. And so in the mix of that, with the dunk, you called the timeout. But what specifically did he do in there where he felt like he needed to call a timeout?
What did he do? He'd be bigger than any player that I've ever coached against. He'd be more skilled with his hands than any player I've ever coached against. And they do a great job of getting him the ball. So I don't know what he did. They do not call 3 seconds, and they do not. He can back you down. You can't do much about it. And I don't think that's always right. But we tried to double him from a couple of spots, and sometimes we fell asleep. Something we don't do a lot. And sometimes he just powered over that. And I don't know how many free throws did he end up with. When play a game like that, he has 12 free throws. I mean, they're fouling three times at the end to get the 5 fouls, I think, you know. So they don't foul much, I guess, and that was a big difference in the game too.
You talked about the struggles defensively, but it felt like on the offensive end, there never seemed to be a lot of rhythm, especially when you would get it close. You know, guys like Joey didn't do much,
No.
placing with some shots. So maybe, I guess, just overall offensively, did it feel like there was
Never any
really
rhythm.
great rhythm? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's good, and it shows you how much statistically is crazy, because we shot 48%, 50 from the 3, and I couldn't agree with you more, which really saddens me that I agree with a media guy, but you're right on the money, you know, seriously. I mean, I didn't think there was any rhythm. Jaden, you know, did some good things, but boy, when it was critical, he just, you know, we didn't slow it down, we didn't get into things, and thought we did a better job. We kept the ball in the middle of the court, but we didn't get Joey going, we didn't get Tyson going very much, and those 2 things hurt a lot. And some of that is on us, some of it's our quarterback's got to know that, but yeah, I would say that's a fair criticism on no rhythm, and yet you shoot 48 to 50. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Tom, there was one offensive rebound from Zach, I think early in the second half over Monty. Monty kind of shrugged his shoulders, almost as if say, I don't know what to do. He came off the floor, you talked to him for a minute right there on the sideline. You know, Monty's undersized as it is already at center, especially against a guy like Zach. What do you say to him in a game like this when Edie dominates like that, and to any of the other guys who are just doing the best they can, but it's just not enough?
Well, I wouldn't say the best we can. I mean, there were some plans we had, and one of Marty's things was when that guy, when anybody shoots it, he just goes to him and doesn't get a rebound. And he was just turning, and Zach's pretty good at using his body, mulling you under, and then when he's 6-7 inches bigger than you, he's good. I mean, he's really good at it. So I don't think you know, he should totally shrug. Some of it was on us, some of it was on him. But I also think that some of it is the guy had a hell of a game. You know, he's a good player, and give Matt credit. They went to him, and what did I say to him? Keep battling. You know, keep battling. I understood.
With AJ, you mentioned about needing a quarterback to do more things. One of the things that it seemed like he was going to the basket a little bit more and trying to draw contact. I guess, what does he need to do to
We need to
be that
run
leader?
our team. He did do a nice job of that. But when you get it to 10, you know, that's where the cash just is. Or, you know, let's get a good shot, let's slow down, we throw it ahead. You know, we got a couple guys that just go back to hell, and you know, we got to control that. But you know, I thought he did a good job, other than that, you know, that stretch when he missed the 2 free throws. I think it was 10 or 11 then or something, and that's a demoralizing thing that happens. But to his credit, he made 7 out of 9, so he made 7 other ones after that. I thought he did do a good job of getting it in there. He was supposed to be the double guy a couple times, and as always with us right now, I think we played him a little too much, and he got tired and maybe didn't do that. You know, we had him on different guys, and the place was electric, a great crowd, and you know, maybe that got us a little bit.
Tom, you mentioned earlier about Matt's got his guys playing in roles. What evidence are you seeing about that helps explain how that's happening?
If I was to be honest, I'd say with every guy. You know they got a horse to ride, and the horse gets a lot of touches, and some people would be jealous of that or upset about that. I mean, Fletcher Lawyer can get you 25. Doesn't seem to bother him not to take. You know, he took like 4 shots most of the game, took a couple at the end. Smith has gotten some big games, doesn't bother him. The real one is Caleb First. You know, great kid. Takes 2 shots, but he just does his job. You know, they pass it, they do it, it is easier now, you know, somebody, especially in my media group would say, well, then why don't you do that? Well, when at the end of the day, you can stop anywhere this side of the equator and throw the ball in the air, and this monster is gonna go get it. It makes it a little easier, seriously. I mean, I'm not being funny, you know, it's always, you know, when we had Miles Bridges, if you just threw a lob, it didn't have to be a good lob, it didn't have to be a decent lob, it could be a terrible lob, and he was gonna save the day, you know, and Edie's even better than that in those ways, you know, so I just think the fact that there's no jealousy, at least it doesn't seem to be. Some of those guys were scorers like Newman and even Gillis, and it's easier when you're 22-1 or whatever they are. It's easier, but I think Matt's done that his whole career here. I think that's what if I had to give him credit, yeah, he runs a lot of good stuff offensively. He's a good defensive coach, but I think he puts his players in a position and doesn't allow any deviation. And I got a lot of respect for that.
Hey, Coach, you're in Matt's house. Both of you guys follow legends. You know,
I didn't
your
let you stay there last night. I was a little disappointed now.
Well, I mean, you guys are fierce on the court rivals, but good friends. What's it like for you to see Matt get this success and achieve the success in this program? And you know, as you kind of mentored a lot of these guys that have come up through behind you.
Well, you know, this is a special relationship here. You know, I still talk to Gene once in a while. You know, he still calls. You know, Gene, Judd, Bruce Weber, Matt, myself, you know. I mean, Bruce and Matt and Tom, you know, I don't deserve much credit today, but 13 years with Judd, I deserve a hell of a lot of credit. And Matt played for Gene and coached with him. He deserves a lot of credit. But I think we all learned a lot too from those guys, and it's sad that I think those guys are still special. You know, and I've tried to keep the Michigan State program with some sense of discipline and things that my mentor set me with, and I think Matt has done the same thing, you know. I'm probably as ornery as my boss. Matt's a little calmer, although when you're winning 22 games, you know, I always said Mike Krzyzewski could sit there like looking like Pope John III on the bench because they're winning a lot of games. But I think he has that fine line between discipline and getting along with his players, and he's done a hell of a job here, you know. I hope people appreciate the job he's done, and I think they do looking at the arena today, and so it's good, you know, and our arena has been unbelievable this year too, so it should have been a game that was a lot closer, if you ask me, but they made sure it wasn't, and that credit goes to them.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.